No, they don't want to run someone over.
I'm not recording though. I haven't used the record right
Three of us that are but hopefully luckily although even some changes, so that's what it's just a lot
Sarah, by the way, I think we met the last one.
Hi, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Mike.
No.
Sorry?
Nonsense. What's your last name, Sarah?
I'm just gonna go chop someplace out. I'm up to my
If I started here, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of stragglers coming in because of the late time or the traffic. And then, as a matter of fact, one of our speakers here is not here yet, so we're going to just change the order a little bit. So, David, where are you at? David, you're second now. So, just so you know. Okay. First of all, my name is Russell Schindler. We're at TCNewTech. The format of this meeting is one, we're going to try and keep on time, and so the way it works is we get 5 minutes to present your technology. You get 5 minutes of Q&A after that, and then we're going to have some some announcements from the audience. If you got a job opening, or if you're looking for a job, or if you're maybe thinking about moving to TC and looking for an apartment or something. We got a guy here that's from Ann Arbor. So anyway, so in between speakers, while we're changing microphones, we're going to thank those announcements. I want to thank our sponsors for today. It's sponsors are the Traverse City Chamber of Commerce. So thank you. Buying the first round after the meeting. So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah! And then Grand Traverse Business Design Group. And, we checked in. She's with Access Point. And then Centerpoint, this building right here, they're donating this room every month for free, so we really appreciate that. Lala Projects, they're a web design company, and then my company, Sample Server, are all sponsors. Okay, so first up is Tyler Brusette. Did I say that right? Brochek. He's got an application called logo down. You don't need to use that.
My name is Tyler Brochek, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Bogodine. After 2 years of test marketing, it became apparent to us that today's restaurant promotional market is fractured. Consumers are hard-pressed to name even one place where they can find a restaurant deal, let alone quickly. Former industry leaders, Groupon, Living Social, Restaurant.com, they've now resorted to selling closeout bed sheets, Segway rides, and even online fruit baskets. While there's nothing wrong with that, people are still looking for a restaurant savings solution. They want it simple, they want it instant, and they want it to reside on a smartphone. That's why we developed a one-button dining solution called Bogodine. Take a look and see what you think.
Bogodine is a mobile app that delivers one-button dining deals to consumer smartphones. Press the Bogo Deals button to view a list of restaurants with deals closest to you. See if you like it. Press the name of the restaurant to get an instant digital coupon. Show your phone to the restaurant server to redeem. Bogodine's other lifestyle buttons are fun too. Want to find a happy hour nearby? How about entertainment? They have a list of restaurants nearest you, but this time with entertainment selections. For restaurant owners, managers, and chefs, it's easy, quick, and inexpensive to pass deals along to you. Restaurateurs simply log into the Bogodine dashboard and enter the deal. It takes about 60 seconds. The deal gets delivered to millions of smartphones and shows up instantly on Bogodine phones nearest the restaurant. The cost? Only $1. Bogodine, delivering one-button dining deals to consumer smartphones.
As you saw from the video, it's very easy for a restaurant manager, owner, or chef to deliver a dining deal to you and me. In fact, it's even easier for a food distributor or a beverage distributor to pass their deals along to restaurants. Bogodine will give all of our distributor sales reps a unlimited one-year free Bogodine trials to give them to their restaurant clients. In return for helping us acquire those restaurants, Bogodine provides an unparalleled vertical marketing platform for its food and beverage distributor partners. The Those partners will be able to drive their sales of their close-dated excess and promotional inventory directly to restaurants, even non-customer restaurants, without having to depend solely on their sales reps. Bovodyne's market opportunity is huge. There are over 162 million smartphone users in the US alone, and they're making over 40 billion restaurant dining decisions each and every year. Bovodyne only needs a small fraction of that market to be vastly successful. We plan on reaching our target market through a few different advertising mediums. We're looking at doing a television PR advertising campaign, along with Twitter and Facebook's new app promotion tools, which were specifically designed to drive app downloads. Many sources of Bovodyne revenue, aside from our restaurant income, will come from the banner and interstitial ads delivered by any one of a number of large national companies such as Millennial Media, Google AdMob, or Apple iAd. And with Bovodyne's vertical marketing platform, we also are able to run national product promotions so manufacturers can drive their sales at all three food service levels: the distributor, the restaurant, and the consumer. In the last 8 weeks, we've seen a marked acceleration in Bovodyne's development and professional partnerships since we acquired our initial seed round of funding. At this point, we should be seeking a $500,000 angel round of funding, but we decided to do something just a little bit different. Right now, we're going to be seeking a $50,000 traction funding round in the form of a 24-month, 10% convertible note with a 40% discount prior to pursuing that funding round. The reason being, this $50,000 traction round allows us to launch a targeted PR, media, Facebook and Twitter campaign in our two test market cities of Traverse City and Grand Rapids coming this fall. The amount of traction we receive will allow us and our angel investors to evaluate the next level of angel funding and allow us to decide where to spend the money and which proposed marketing concepts will work best when we go on to our national launch beginning of 2016 in Chicago. Thanks for your time this evening.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
How do coupons be?
You simply go into the restaurant, you show your server your phone, your server will press a redeem button. There's no coupons to print, no downloading, no printing. It's just an instant digital coupon, and you show your server. Yes.
How do you validate the owner of the restaurant as the person that's actually owns the restaurant?
Right now, that's why we're going through, we've already been in high-level talks with Gordon Food Service to become our restaurant acquisition partner. Their sales reps would be the ones going into the restaurants and delivering their deals to them. So we've been discussing a number of different ways to do that, whether it's using their GFS account number as their login credentials. That's still internal discussion at this point.
It's not open to jump on and have.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
How much funding have you gone through so far, and where exactly are you in your business model? Do you have any users yet, or you're not there yet?
We're currently in the prototype phase. We received a $60,000 seed funding round middle of May, and we actually begun app coding. Actually, yesterday is when they've been doing the first lines of code. So they estimate it takes about 6 weeks. We actually teamed with a company here in Traverse City, Flight Path Creative, who's doing our full app development. They estimate about 8 weeks or so for coding. Then we'll do our own beta testing before we move on to Traverse City as our first test market and Grand Rapids as our second test market. Yes?
Who is your competition?
We get that question quite a bit. It's really tough because there really isn't anything like this on the market today. We say Groupon, Living Social, but they really don't, they've really gone away from that model of delivering deals to restaurants. Like I said, they've gone more into selling bed sheets, you name it. Their half-off model really hurts. It really hurts a restaurant. They take 50, it's a 50% off deal. Groupon takes 50%, leaves the restaurant with the other little portion. So really they're operating, those coupons are really putting a dent in them. They're operating below their food costs most of the time. So we're trying to do something a little bit different, where restaurants can really get out there and promote their own deals. They can set the percent level. They can give away what they want whenever they want. That's really our concept that we're going for.
Do you have a target user?
We've gotten that question quite a bit too. We've had people all the way from 15 years old to a couple in their upper 80s that are very excited to use this product. We're looking at targeting more of the millennial crowd, people that have just recently graduated from college, starting a career, big city environment. That's our specific market that we're going to be advertising to, but we can see anyone who dines out using this and benefit from this. Yes.
Will your initial launch be on all formats, Google, iPhones, Windows, or just one?
Right now, we're looking at launching just on the iPhone for our test markets. In the meantime, we'll be building the Android app and launching that as well, probably in the second test market in Grand Rapids. Yes?
What's been your favorite part about developing this app?
Just really kind of getting down into it. I've worked in the restaurant industry for several years, so I've seen it all the way from the inner workings, being a server myself, to seeing how this can affect management, how it can affect the food distribution levels of beverage, our beverage partners. It's just really fun to see everything go from our very beginning all the way to where we are now. Yes.
Tell me about your team.
It's me, myself. I'm the CEO and co-founder. My other co-founder, he's in the back right now. He acts as an advisor role. And then Josh Heckman up here, he is our web developer. Then we've really resorted to dealing with third parties to keep our company small and compact as we can.
How long have you been working on this?
This itself has been about 2 years, and then we've spent another previous 2 years running our test market for this. So about a little over 4 years total.
What exactly is the problem you're solving, and how do people deal with that problem today, and how does this make it better?
The problem today is everything out there right now is very cumbersome. You have to print, you have to prepay, pre-purchase a deal, you have to bring in a coupon. Restaurants, while they like coupons, they really don't like people coming in on a busy Friday night to use them. This allows the restaurant to really set their own deal. Let's say it's a Tuesday and the restaurant manager comes in, sees that the reservation book is fairly dead. He can go ahead and type in buy one, get one appetizer, and it'll immediately be delivered to all the phones in his area. So he can really drive his business whenever he'd like.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Great questions, by the way. I'm gonna, first of all, I don't know if you guys remember last week or last month, there was a guy here at the Suburban Boiler. He was walking around with the microphone. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's one of the, it was like he and I talking about after we went to an TCNewTech meeting down in Ann Arbor, and we're like, hey, let's do this in Traverse City. Anyway, so Murray is gravely ill, and so if you could keep me in your thoughts. And, anyway, so
what's his name, Russell?
Suburban Boiler. So anyway, so great guy. If you remember him, he's the really strong, big, good-looking guy. Don't like to stand next to. Okay, so sponsors, I want to thank some sponsors again. Traverse City Chamber of Commerce, just want to mention again, thank you for the support, getting the word out there, and lending some credibility to us. So I appreciate that. And Traverse Legal, again, you guys are stepping up, and I really appreciate it. Fun to work with. All right, so we have Dave Durbin with Qwik-Fun app. Need a couple more seconds. Does anyone have any announcements they want to make? That's actually the part I forgot. Anyone got any job announcements? Looking for a job?
Sure do.
All right.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mike Miles. I own and operate Active Marketing here in town. We are growing pretty quickly. We're looking to either hire other digital agencies as in an acquisition of the entire digital agency. We don't care a lot about your current clientele. We're not looking to acquire that, just the talent. Or we're hiring pretty close to 10 positions right now, including graphic design, development, account management, pay-per-click and paid media management, search engine optimization, PR, advertising, copywriting. Pretty much we're scaling our entire organization. So if anyone is looking for a great position at an exciting company that's growing really rapidly, get in touch with me. I'm Mike Miles with Active Marketing. So yeah.
And Mike, I just want to let you know that you can actually post a message on the meetup and it'll get distributed to everybody here. So just post your contact information there.
Great.
And it'll get out to everybody.
We'll do. Y'all can go to activemarketing.com too for, you know, I'm here so you can.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Chad Richmond. I work with Haggerty Insurance, and we're actually hiring for a UX developer right now. So ultimately front-end developer. If anyone knows anybody in the market, anyone that's interested, please have them stop by Haggerty.com or see me and pass on the information. I'd be appreciated. I also have some of the job descriptions if anyone's interested.
Now, again, I encourage you to post that on meetup.
Yeah.
All set? Okay. Dave Durbin with Qwik-Fun.
All right. I'm Dave Durbin with Qwik-Fun, Traverse City. Here we are in beautiful Traverse City with so much fun going on. A couple questions that come to mind are, how do I find the fun that I'm interested in that's going on, and how do I keep track of it all? For the last 40 or 50 years, it's been done this way. You go into a coffee shop, while you're standing in line, something catches your eye. If you're like me, you'll see 2 or 3 things that you think, hey, that looks like something I'd be interested in. And by the time you place your order and walk out, you've forgotten all about it. You hear about it 2 weeks after it happened. Also, there's the print publications that are out there. They do a great job with articles and recipes and other goings-ons. But when it comes to event calendars, they're a little cumbersome to carry around. So we created a Qwik-Fun app. I would bring this all to the 21st century, categorize it, catalog it, and I'll just kind of walk you through the app. I mean, the creation of a lot of the features is, you find a lot of different apps using the things that I invented, of course. But you can see it's real straightforward for the user. We broke it down into different categories. We've got a search bar, so you can search by venue, event, or band name. We've got a me category for those events that you find that, hey, I want to remember this one. I want that one. It's coming up in 2 months. I don't want to forget about it. And also a trending category for the top 15 events that have been searched by other users would appear. So for this example, let's say that you got friends coming in for the weekend and you want to see some live music at one of the local pubs. You're not sure where or which one, but you would tap music. Some subcategories might appear depending on the category. If you're interested in concerts at Interlochen or the Venice, you might choose that. We're interested in live gigs. So we tap that, brings us to the calendar. You can choose whatever day you want. To make it simple, we've kind of blocked in a few common searches, 48 hours, weekend, all. We're going to choose the weekend. You can see that it becomes highlighted. We go, and everything in your search categories will appear. You scroll down your phone or your tablet. It's categorized by date. You can see that the GPS will tell you how far you are from that venue. Again, for this example, we'll say we want to see Savage Soul. Caught our eye, we've heard of them. They're at the parlor. They're only a quarter of a mile away. And when we tap that star, it turns gold, and then it's stored in our Me calendar, and we'll come back to that. To get more details on it, we'll go to the details screen, breaks down everything. Of course, the phone number is active. You can call the venue if you want to. If you're interested in the map, Tap the map, it's expandable. This is all inside the app. You don't have to leave the app for this. It gives you directions from where you're at to the venue. And you've never seen Savage, but you've heard them. So maybe you want to see a video clip. So we've stored a video of any of the performers so you can get a taste of it before you decide you're going to go. And if that is who you decide to go to see, you want to share it with your friends who are coming into town. You can do that via text, email, or Twitter or Facebook. You can post on those. So that's it. You can search and search and search whatever categories you're interested in and get all these details. If you go back to the home screen, a couple quick details. As you can see, if you tap this Me category again, because we just saved that, that would appear. You can say 5 or 10 or 20 different events. And we're working on probably soon we'll have the red badge push notifications for all those. So that you'll be reminded when it's a day out or 2 days out. The trending, as I said, it's for the next 7 days, top 15 events. You can use a search bar. We use the Workshop Brewing Company as an example. We've got 11 of their events in there, so if you're determined to go to the workshop and see what they've got going, you can do it that way. So how is this monetized? The first group that we cater to, obviously, is the end user, the people who are going to be looking at the app, looking for fun things to do. The other group is the business owners locally. If they want to promote their events, this is a great way to do it. It's far more affordable than any other form of advertising and promotion. Whether using TV, radio, newspaper, print ad, this will be far more affordable. And unlike most advertising opportunities, people using this app are looking for your events. You're not out to the side of an article. You're not squeezed in between TV programs. These people are going to have money in their pocket looking for things to do and places to go to spend their money. We're quick and nimble. There's no ad design, no waiting period, no extra cost or color. There's no extra effort. The business owners love this. This just happens. They don't have to send us a list. They don't have to send us anything. We're sharing this from their websites and their Facebook pages, and it just happens. The app's always accessible. It's always up to date for the user. It's regularly updated. It's modern, clean, neat. It's a cool way to promote events, and we're paperless and green. And of course, the scalability. If it works in Traverse City, they can work on other territories too, and that's the idea. As you know, Traverse City rocks.
Raise their hand and let me move the camera. Okay. And then I'll give them the thumbs up.
Sure. All right, so question and answers. Hopefully answers.
Hold on one second.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So how exactly are you getting your listings? I think you alluded to that, but could you talk a little bit more about that?
It's a top secret. Top secret thing that you're going to know. It's, we've got a back end that we've kind of automated, and we're still tweaking that. We've got a small team of people who are scouring events, and it's part manual and it's part, using that back end.
Could you explain your revenue model one more time? I didn't quite catch how you.
Yeah, so the revenue will be, right now, this launched a week ago. Okay, so it's available. If you want to download the app, feel free. And the feedback we've got has been tremendous. People love it. They're thankful. They're grateful. So we think that, initially we just want to get users. Right now, we're not charging anybody anything. It's going to be easier for us to approach businesses when we've got X number of users. The retention is where we want it to be. And then it's going to be, we haven't exactly decided, but probably a monthly membership, depending on the business, whether it's a restaurant or bar. They have a lot of events going on, probably a monthly subscription. But that's, yeah, in a nutshell, they'll pay to be able to promote it on the app.
So you're inputting some of the event data and other data, but also do they have a login where they can upload their own and push their own events, or how does...
We thought of doing that. Right now, we're just going to do it. It's possible in the future to give them a discount to be able to enter their own, but the business owners I've talked to, every single one of them feels like they don't have time or the energy. They feel like they have to learn something. What we do is as easy as entering a Facebook update. It's very simple on our back end, but after thinking more about that, allowing the business owners to do it. There's a learning curve, and there's turnover in those businesses. And, you know, anytime they have an issue with something or a problem, they got to call us. We don't have the support right now.
So you're staffing that problem away.
Yep. And the people I've talked to, that's the thing they like the most. Because I don't have to even send you a list of what's going on this month. Beautiful. I don't even know what's going on, and it's going on. That's, you know, that's what they like. Yes.
So wouldn't that assume that they have their stuff up on Facebook though? Like they have to make sure that it was available online.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
You got to go to their website, for sure. They've got some responsibility.
Okay.
But that's as far as it's going to go, is their Facebook page. If they don't, you know, this is bringing everyone's Facebook page and websites together, filtering out all the other minutiae, so to speak, and just having the timely details of the upcoming events.
So if they don't have a Facebook page because they don't want to manage that, they can still give you the information?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, for sure. Yes.
So it's similar to Google AdWords, where you're going to have sort of sponsored content. You could actually have anything from, you know, nonprofits who are looking at events going on. You're going to aggregate and curate that information along with paid services, or is it really just paid services?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. And yeah, there are going to be nonprofit things and things that we're just going to put up for free, because I think that the business owners, if that becomes an issue, we can explain that we want this to be a comprehensive, useful tool for everybody. And yep, the business owners who are going to be, you know, promoting 100 events every month, they're going to be able to run it. Yeah. But because it's going to bring users in, you know, for the whole comprehensive thing, we expect that to kind of offset any bad vibes and all that. Yes.
I was just curious, I just downloaded the app. Why do you require the end user to register, log in? How are you going to utilize that information?
Well, right now it's just so for instance, the me file, I don't have, at this point, I don't have any intention of doing much with that. You know, maybe it becomes an email list down the road, but also for push notifications, if the users decide they want to do that, it's available. Yes?
Would you ever make it compatible with like your calendar app on your phone so that people can actually see the event?
Yeah, that's the other, yep, we may do both. We may do one or the other as far as push notifications, or allow you to just dump it right into your calendar. So those are, you know, down the road probably. Yes?
What's your competition?
You know, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's much competition in the I know everybody says they don't have any competition, right? The competition that I've seen is on a grand scale. So you may see, I'm trying to think what they're called, an event or something, these sites that nationwide, they've got all the concerts and movies and everything. So if you go to, I want to see a concert in Traverse City, it sends you to Meyer Garden in Grand Rapids. So that's the closest event that they have. I don't know anything or, you know, any app that's doing anything like this. It's this comprehensive. So if you download it, check it out, you'll probably see what I mean. So that's why I think it's scalable too, to other territories or regions.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. Okay, I want to thank some more sponsors. Access Point. Lisa back there, they're like a human resources company. They specialize in employee relations. You know, they like a third-party HR office for you. Payroll, taxes, health benefits, 401ks. I don't need to talk to you about the health benefits thing, by the way, because you know, everybody's health is going up. Health insurance is going up. Workplace safety, regulatory compliance, and then the staffing. And then also I want to thank again CenterPoint for donating this building. You know, it's a great venue. And, you know, for them to donate the building. They actually also have a space downstairs on the third floor. I think it's almost right underneath the room. They're pressured me hard to do some kind of like co-location incubator thing. So if anyone's interested in talking about that, come see me after the meeting. I'd like to talk to you about that. Are there any other announcements? Anybody got anything? Go ahead.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on one second.
Okay.
My name's Linda Woodrow, and I'm with a company named Django International. We do a shop management system for automotive repair facilities, both in the US and Canada. We're in several national chains, Midas, Tuffy, and we are looking currently for a C++ developer to help us with some of our web integration. So we would be interested in somebody that is familiar with .NET, RESTful web services, and everything. So you can see me from my card if you might know me.
Are there any other announcements? Okay, yeah. We have Tom Burnosky, is that right?
Correct.
From HistorySpots.com.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Burnosky. I'm a co-founder and I'm the sales guy for History Spots Incorporated. The app we're going to talk about today is called The Story of Where. And The Story of Where can be found on the Apple iTunes Store. A little bit about the company. It was founded in 2012. We've got a successful series around the funding that's been completed. Actually, we're actually looking for about $50,000 more to close out the current round of funding that we have. We have a mobile app and we have a heritage media platform. We'll talk about that in a second. What you can see there is a little bit of a glimpse of what the mobile app looks like. We move through these slides. The opportunity that we're trying to address with our company is the ubiquitous mobile devices that are everywhere and connecting people to place. The Story of Where was created through a car ride, a family car ride and vacation. And I know if anybody's been traveling in the summertime, in the wintertime, everyone in the car is connected to their mobile devices doing whatever they happen to be doing. Well, the Story of Where really addresses what are the significant historical places around. Let's do something meaningful with our time while we're on vacation, while we're using our mobile app. We're really focused on three main areas: tourism, education, and preservation. Our tagline is holding history in the palm of your hand, and that's what we want everybody to do. The content for the mobile app comes from some different areas right here. What you see on the left-hand side, National Register of Historic Places, National Historical Landmarks, National Natural Landmarks. We have more than 100,000 landmarks throughout the country, and this is where the information comes from. You can think of the content in our app in different layers, in different forms. On the right-hand side, you see maybe some more creative and maybe some more custom content applications. We have all the National Football League stadiums, Major League Baseball stadiums. The area of layers is really an unlimited content pool for us. We have state of Michigan, state of Colorado, individual state historic markers. When you open up the app, the first thing you see is where do you happen to be. It's hard to see here, but it's shaded. This is where I was earlier today. All of those pinpoints on the map show you historical markers. I wanted to drill into the City Opera House and show you what that content looks like. You can see when you drill into a particular area, you're able to pick a pinpoint and open it up. And when you open it up, there's a few different layers of content that come together. A description and a history. This content is actually coming from the primary source document that got the City Opera House listed. So we've acquired all of the primary source documents, all of the nomination forms for more than 100,000 spots in the United States. And with the states that we work directly, we have more content than that. And some of the interesting screens, this is an area here for I've been here, I want to go here. You can rate and review the particular site. We have a heritage partnership available, which is an advertising model that we built in to help drive revenue. And on the right-hand side are areas that you can reach out. You can publish the Story of Where onto social media, search Wikipedia, all with regard to the City Opera House. So you can keep that continuity going. On the tourism side of our partnerships, we are connected to the Michigan Historical Center. Down at the bottom here, if you visit this website, the Story of Where application is available. So we're pushing users and we're connecting people through tourism right now with our state partner, the Michigan Historical Commission. We're rolling out brochures and information sessions to 22 museums throughout the state. Alpena Thunder Bay is where we've just begun to promote the site. Secondary education is another huge market for us, and this is an institutional model, not necessarily a consumer-driven model. So you want to do a search on a president, Gerald R. Ford, presidential home. The Ford, the description is over there. There's assistive technology in here. You can read it. The computer will read it to you. Secondary education, we have Casey Middle School, user-generated content when we're uploading. Curriculum alignment, we're looking for 2015 classroom pilots. And the preservation, we want to be the heritage media platform that's in the cloud. A lot of the state preservation offices don't have data in a form that's available for the public, and we really see a niche there that we can fulfill. And the consumer price, $3.99 at the App Store, and we work custom on an institutional basis with schools and learning institutions, school districts, state libraries, and that's it.
Nice. Anyone have questions? And raise your hand if you have a question so Randy can spot you. Go ahead.
When was your app released and how many customers each month have you gotten since that release?
Well, so the app was released in October of 2013. And, you know, we range on a monthly basis, depending on you know, promotional efforts that go out there, between, say, 100 and 250 app downloads, individual app downloads. So we've got a real focus in Michigan and in Colorado, which is where we have most content right now. But we're looking at Florida and New Mexico, and building out states with very granular historic sites.
So the current funding, this additional $50,000 is based on what kind of valuation, and compare that to the previous round?
Yeah, well, so it closes out at a $1.2 million valuation. So, and this is the only round that we've had as far as funding goes.
And how much funding is coming thus far?
$340.
Have you had anyone question or bring up Google's exploratory field trip?
Yeah, Google has a field, you know, so the competition question, I mean, Google has field trip. They're not promoting it though in the sectors that we're promoting it in: preservation and tourism, and in education. We don't want to cross it. So their level of detail isn't based on the nomination forms that we're using. So we think we're more detailed, and we think we're more focused on 3 real target areas that are accessible to us.
I think they were demonstrating in a school setting using field trip with those students, and they used Google's cardboard. You slide your phone in, take a piece of cardboard like a VR.
Sure.
And if you click on a place, you can be anywhere, and then virtually tour that area. I mean, that's what the field trip aspect comes in the student setting. And you know, they're driving around with these cars with, you know, cameras all over them and stuff, and capturing some pretty realistic footage. Or, you know, especially speaking of museums and those historical areas where if they've already created partnerships with them.
Well, again, we haven't run across that. We know Google's out there. We know there are certain states that are out there that may work with them. We're also having conversations at the state level for our content as well. So.
What has been your customer acquisition strategy, and what parts of it has been most successful so far?
So where I'm focused is the institutional level, to try and bring school districts, school classrooms. So we've been successful at the classroom stage. We haven't been successful at the institutional level yet. Say you know, like a large school district, Traverse City, that type of thing. We've been successful on the statewide side with the Michigan Historical Commission. So it's I mean, we're encouraged by it. There's no question about that, and we're plugging away. Some of the challenges that we run into certainly are funding levels for different public institutions and that type of thing. But we're encouraged by a lot of RFPs that are out there. Down in Detroit, the M1, rail corridor is got an RFP out for a mobile solution based on historic areas, so we're very encouraged by that.
How are you building content into your site?
Well, there's a number of different ways. A lot of this is publicly available content, so we're working with the state historic preservation offices to give us that information. In Michigan in particular, they're giving us marker information, so we're building a database of all markers within Michigan, even the most current ones. So we're working right now on kind of the two-way of getting that information into the system.
Are you familiar with oral content companies?
No.
Content oral, I'm sorry.
Okay.
They're converting published books content into website.
Okay. Very good. Sure, sure. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Tom. Is Aaron showed up? Aaron.
I just was 5 minutes.
Okay. Are you ready to go?
Ready to roll?
Okay. All right. Come on up.
Russell, I'd like Mike, I didn't get all of his announcement. Could he do a redo on his announcement so I can record it? Mike?
Okay, there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. Zoom in on him. And forward. Step forward just a little, Mike. There, right there's good, right there. No, to your left, to your left. Yep, I got a light over here. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Okay, very good.
Mike Miles, Active Marketing, going quickly. We're hiring for all positions, digital marketing, CRO, pay-per-click, SEO, account managers, every position that a digital marketing agency has. We're hiring. So if you are a creative agency or an advertising agency or a PR firm and you're considering divesting, come to me because we're acquiring those agencies and we're hiring for all positions. So if you are interested or know someone who's interested, get in touch with me. I have posted on the meetup online with my contact information, so get in touch.
And what's your website for the company?
ActiveMarketing.com.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, is there any other announcements? Anybody decided that they're, okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Gary Lemansky.
Hold on, hey, Gary.
Oh, sorry. Too quick for you.
Yeah, let me focus on you and go.
I'm Gary Lemansky, and I'm one of the owners of Altus Brands. We're a consumer products company that's focused on hunting accessory products. We're located in Braun, used to be in Traverse City, but out through our facility there. In any case, one of our products, we just recently acquired an app called iHunt Calls, or iHunt Calls by Ruger, and it's an electronic game call. It's on iOS and on Android. And all of the development work for the additional features that we want to add to this app is being done right now, outsourced to a company out of England. And I'd love to be able to bring that sort of work closer to home. So if you know of anybody who is interested or a group that focuses on that sort of project-oriented development work, I'd love to talk to them. And then the second part of it is we're heavily in the customer acquisition mode. We've got about 700,000 downloads on this app right now, and love to be able to grow that to 1 million as quickly as I can, and I need as much help as I can to get there. So if you know anybody who focuses on that type of activity, please see me after the event, and I will post it on.
What's the name of that app?
It's iHunt Calls by Ruger, and it's an electronic game call app.
Very good, thank you.
Any other announcements? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Deanna Cannon. I'm the Executive Director of Northern Michigan Angels here in Traverse City. And we have a site called GUST, G-U-S-T, where you can upload your profile. And if you're looking for funding, go to that site. We have a pre-screen committee that looks through your information and it gets back to you. Altus Brands is one of our portfolio companies here in Traverse City.
I can vouch how helpful Northern Michigan Angels was in acquiring that app.
Well, we try to be, so I'd be happy to answer questions.
Great. And I would encourage you to put that contact information on the meetup. And speaking of Altus Brands, I know a guy that can help you with your customer acquisitions. He's actually a sponsor. It is Randy from Grand Traverse Business Design Group. He's right there. So we get okay, good. And that's what you do, right? Web marketer, like customer acquisition stuff. As a matter of fact, he's going to be doing some work for us probably. So for my company. And also I want to thank Timber Digital back there. Joey DeFranco. Instrumental in putting everything on YouTube, and it did a fantastic job last week. You edited out me completely, so that was part of the reason why it was good. Why don't you just briefly tell them what you do?
Yeah, no, I work on video strategy, especially in the web space. So if any company are looking for video work, anything from web commercials, YouTube pre-roll, training pieces. I actually work a lot with Brian as well at Grand Traverse Business Design. But fully capable HD for television, but scalable to web and mobile. So if you have video needs, come see me for the
And so I guess my company is also a sponsor, SampleServe.com. We do environmental sampling and web-based data management. So if you know anybody that needs environmental data management, have a contact.
So can I make a comment?
Sure, go ahead.
My name's Randy Bishop. I'm filming the audience segment. Joey and I are going to work together and put the video of these events together. And these will be sent over to upnorthmedia.org. It will also be airing on Charter Cable Public Access TV, channel 189. So once we get these videos of these events put together and uploaded, then we'll be able to, through Russell's meetup group, send an email blast out to you to tell you when they'll actually be airing on public TV. So you can share with all your friends that weren't able to be here. And also they will be stored online at upnorthmedia.org on demand. So you can be able to watch these events at any time. We don't want to keep people from attending these events, but know that you can share with your family and friends, and you'll have links for Facebook and Twitter as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So up next we have Aaron Carpenter from Legendary Line and the
Perfect team.
Okay.
So yeah, my name is Aaron Carpenter. I own Legendary Line Web Design. We're a brand design, web design, and SEO optimization specialist agency. And this is an application that we were hired to develop on behalf of a client called Your Perfect Team. The problem was this particular client is a branding specialist specifically for family entertainment centers. So they brand clients like Incredible Mo's, Lucky Jack's, the entire experience. And they came to us and said, we've got this sort of imperfect system where when one of these family entertainment centers or restaurant organizations is trying to hire, they're looking to speed up the hiring process. And they're looking to potentially place people based on personality type. Everybody in this room is probably pretty familiar with Myers-Briggs. So we developed a web application that allows for them to do this. Essentially, it's broken into two parts. There's part A and part B. The first part is a normal application. So it's SSL encrypted. The way that it's set up, any client can purchase this service as a subscription service. So a family entertainment center might, when they're opening a new site, hire this, pay for this service to hire staff. And the first part is that normal employee application that you would take. But the second part is where all the magic happens. The second part is a customizable by industry or client questionnaire, 38 questions, which determine what personality type the person has that's filling it out. And then we customize all of the emails, which are subsequently sent out to the owner and to anyone who's in hiring that describes, okay, this is the personality type. These are the best suited positions for that person. It describes their personality, their main attributes, their perceived potential weaknesses. So I want to run you through an example of that real quick here. So this is the sandbox. This sits on a JavaScript and PHP backbone. The JavaScript part does the personality calculations. So as you go through, this is a sandbox site. So normally the clients would not be able to see the data as they went, but as I go through and click each response, it will run through a JavaScript calculator, and depending on the response, which is either the extroversion or antithesis, introversion, and so on through, determine what quality has more points. Whatever has more points equates to the personality type, which then triggers a PHP email, which gets sent to the hiring manager and the owner to tell them, here's the person who applied, here's their personality type, here's who they potentially would best fit in. So the point of the application is to speed up the hiring process by giving them a tool that they can use with a series of other tools to help them understand who would best fit where. So we're working on upgrading the experience. Let's see if I can get this rolling again. We're working on upgrading the experience. The email looks something like this, and it's a little difficult to show you here, but essentially it's a HTML email which shows the applicant's information. It'll then show their title and a long description of what that title means, and then a bunch of information on their strengths and weaknesses. So we're working on upgrading this application right now. It's strictly in prototype mode. There's really no database backend or anything like that built in yet. And by really, I mean there's none. It sits on this, so it delivers the email. So essentially, the people that are trying the prototype, they use the email to keep track of applications and things like that. But we want to build in a database backend, so probably a PHP MySQL infrastructure. It will sit in front of a paywall, so clients will pay a subscription. They then are granted access to a client panel, which shows a dashboard of how many applications they've had within the past month. They can do reporting on that for if a position just opened up. Okay, who applied that had a personality that fit that. We also want to do an administrator login so that for the client that I'm building this for, they can go in and update the client dashboard with their logo, customize the experience with the personality sandbox that you saw, with that company's brand, colors, and everything like that. So it's like a seamless application experience. It all happens online, and that's the concept. So again, my name is Aaron Carpenter, Legendary Lion. We help you get your lion's share of the web.
Anyone have questions for Aaron?
Is there an intention?
Oh, one moment, please.
Oh, sorry. Get my spot again.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you have, or your client had the intention of licensing this to, or even attempting to scale this to something like Monster or Indeed, where, you know, they take in so many applications? Because it seems like any person who is taking applications, it's just more information about the applicant.
Right, so that's the brilliant part about it, right? And I can't take credit for the idea. We were just hired to build the prototype and start building the infrastructure. But yeah, essentially, it could be used in any industry, really. We haven't looked at licensing it to anyone else that I'm aware of. I believe he wants to keep it proprietary. But we are looking at vastly improving the customizable experience so that when someone buys into a subscription, it's them up there. Like, it's their company, that's who you're applying for. And as you said, they use it as a tool, amongst other tools, to speed up the hiring process, make sure they're putting the right people in the right places. Must have done a good job presenting.
So maybe I missed this, but so the revenue model is
subscription-based.
And is that by number of employees or by number of applications?
Right.
Or?
So right now, this is, again, strictly in prototype mode, so it's not ready to go to production.
Sure.
But the idea, or the discussion at least, is that my client is trying to decide between doing like a per application small fee, right, or just subscription-based. Like, as long as you have a subscription, you can crank as many users through it as you want. But the second that you turn off that subscription, it's disabled. So we would essentially have an archiving system in the database where all data would be stored, but a Boolean would toggle that would not allow them to log in because they're not currently a paying customer.
Go ahead.
Who's the competition here?
Right. So pretty much anything that's a hiring tool, right? And there are a lot out there. However, I welcome anyone's discovery as to whether or not there's anything like this out here. I wasn't able to find anything like that. I mean, sure, Myers-Briggs and that, but we're customizing the experience for the client. So you find a particular restaurant, you examine the personality models. It's just a one-off from the management side to go, okay, these people would fit best here and here's why with those descriptions. And then the company then gets that information in turn. And it's completely customizable. In theory, there's always an admin on my client's side, not the family entertainment center or restaurant, that customizes this experience, like a hiring expert, so that they don't have to pay someone to do that and sit there and know that. They just do it one-off, and then they use that information as a tool. But yeah, that's currently where that discussion is right now.
So you're like eHarmony versus Match.com.
Exactly.
Questions.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, this may be a question more for the owner than for you. You can take a traditional Myers-Briggs score and deliver that to somebody and let them make a decision based on that information. Sounds like you're going beyond that. They're going beyond that.
Right.
And they're saying that they're taking that information and making a leap to something much more than that. So what's it based on? I mean, there's very little evidence actually that Myers-Briggs does connect to anything.
And funny that you mentioned that. I just read a post on Facebook. I think maybe it was, I don't remember where it was from, but it was definitely a credible source. But they were saying that, yeah, there's more evidence pointing to the fact that Myers-Briggs doesn't work. I'm not really interested in whether or not Myers-Briggs works. I know that the questions that an interviewer would ask are essential to placing a person in a job. And these questions are designed to place people into whether or not they like dealing with people more or they don't. Like those sorts of questions as it applies to introverts and extroverts in the Myers-Briggs theory. There's literally no Myers-Briggs that's working here other than the math. So the math calculating a person into a specific cubbyhole based on their answers then allows us to say, okay, based on all those answers, these are the positions that would best fit for you. If that makes sense.
Are you working with development partners to validate that this actually works?
Again, it's in prototype mode, so it's kind of up to the client. They're paying us to build the system in a way that it would work. It is being field tested right now with several different clients. I think a total of 6 or 7. So, we're getting that information as we go. It's more of a feel out process and less of like an empirical, let's hire a study to figure out whether or not it works kind of a thing. It'll be very much a subjective tool.
So 2 things. One, I've taken or read a book called Strength Finders.
Yes, yeah, I've read them. Yep.
Yeah, so I found that very, very useful actually. It appeals to people that our company help use it. But secondly, the question I have is when you actually start calculating the personality types, who judges where they fit? You said you had somebody in the back and actually, right? Or I guess my question is, if you were to roll this out, would you allow the hiring manager sort of drag and drop questions, or like I could almost imagine it be more sort of contained, like, hey, we need a hostess, and therefore this person, let's give these questions. Or do you actually let them more tricky based on maybe a consultant that says, let's really kind of nail this person down for that?
Sure. So I'll try to be brief because I know we're out of time. The questions as it stands now in the prototype are strictly set, right? They're just to compartmentalize what type of person that person would be. And again, it's just a tool. It doesn't mean that person is that way. But so it's not set to do that yet. But the weakest link of this whole operation is the talent of the person who makes the custom descriptions for the client. And right now, at its level, it's run by a specialist who does branding and hiring for family entertainment centers. So that's what makes that link strong now. But in the future, for scalability, of course, we'll have to open a door to like hiring managers or people that specialize in that field so they can be trained on that role with the manual. Thank you for your time.
All right. Okay, so if you recall, I mentioned that Enrico is going to be buying the first round. So I'd encourage everyone to run up his bill as much as possible by going over to Harbor 22. Can I get a brief show of hands on people planning and attending to go? All right, cool, beautiful. All right, looks like it's going to be.
Thank you, sir.
Good round.
All right.
And, let's see. So, while we're getting, Mike set up here, it's actually the one I've been looking for. Mike's not really going to demonstrate an app or a software. He's going to talk about how to develop an app or a software. And I think a lot of people that I've talked to over since we came up and started doing this, people are like, well, I'm not in the software business, but I have an idea. And I'm like, that's why we're doing this. So it's people who have ideas and maybe are in an industry. I'm a geologist, I do fundamental work, but I've met some people that do software, and I've kind of married the two since then. And so that's kind of what we're talking about, and that's what Mike's going to talk about. And Mike Groleau is with
Just like it's spelled, right?
with RJG Inc. And so I'll let him take it from there.
Okay, so RJG is a global supplier of sensors and software to the injection molding industry. Would all the injection molders in the room please raise their hand? Okay, so good. Well, I'm not here to sell anything this evening. As Russ mentioned, I'm here to talk about a book that we came across. We were introduced to about 3 years ago as we were looking at for a better way to develop products. The problem we were running into is that we were using a fairly traditional design process where we had an idea that we thought was a great idea, and we'd spend anywhere from 6 months to 2 years developing this product and going through testing and developing documentation. We release it to the field, and sometimes it's a great success, but too many times it wasn't. And we wanted to make sure that we were spending our development time and money wisely. So the core of the book, The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, takes lean manufacturing principles and it ties it to the product development process. So the core of lean thinking is that we're trying to identify that which adds value, and we're trying to minimize waste. And so the lean in the lean startup is that any product we build and we don't sell is waste. And how can we find out what adds value to the customer, what they will buy, before we ever spend any time building it? So the core of this concept is something called the minimum viable product. And it's the question is first we have to identify what's the critical assumptions that we have to test. What's critical to making this product successful, and develop it with the smallest experiment to learn whether that assumption is true or not, and really to determine whether we should build it, because we can build anything. The question is, should we build it? Should we spend time and money on this? So I'd like to show an example of that's presented in the book, and it's great. I'm going to show a little video clip from Bill Gross, who in 1998 had this concept of selling cars on the internet. And this is at a point in time where the internet is in its infancy, and people told them, people are going to want to test drive. They're not going to buy a car sight unseen off the internet. And so he went out to prove it by building a very simple, very minimal website to test the concept, will people buy online? And here's Bill talking about the experience.
He was showing them how he was building the configurator so people could use the drop downs to choose the options they wanted on the car. And I said, don't even do that. Again, I didn't know the term Wizard of Oz MVP, but I said, just put a field in where someone can type in the car they want. Someone will be sitting behind the curtain, taking that and going down to the Monrovia Auto Mall and just buying the car. We're going to lose money on each car, if anybody even wants one, and we'll deliver it to their house. So don't even worry about an illegal configuration. We'll call the person on the phone if that's actually a problem. We just want to see if someone put $1,000 on their credit card in. We don't even need to run their credit card. We just need to see, well, like Social Security number experiment, just will they put it in? We don't even have the method to accept credit cards yet, because we're a commercial account. So I convinced them, just put the site live. We're on day 80 of our 90-day test, just put the site live. And I remember it was a Thursday night, I came back on Friday morning, and I said, well, how did it work? Did anything happen? We didn't have Google Analytics, we didn't have Google didn't exist. We didn't have any analytics to actually watch what happened. I just said, what happened? He said, we sold 4 cars last night. I said, how do you have to turn the site off?
So the concept here that they were trying to test was, will people buy a product site on CNN within 90 days and a very minimal amount of money spent? They were able to validate that, yes, they could do that. That was the first experiment. And then with small continuing experiments, they built this out. This is the Cars Direct website today. They do over $1 billion worth of business. They all started with this one very simple experiment. So. But it's not just for software. This came from the software, and it's very aligned with agile development methodology. This is a photo of what happens when you take, it's about roughly, 16 of our sensors, and try and stick them on the side of a mold, and it's a mess. And we wanted to find a better way to create a connector system to clean up this pile. So our first minimum viable product was actually just a sketch on paper that within a couple days we sent out to customers, and they told us all the reasons that it wouldn't work. And we went back, and good thing we didn't build that one. By the time we got to paper prototype number 3, we had a concept the customer said, okay, you're heading in the right direction. So we moved on to a higher fidelity prototype. This is the TinSnip prototype that took an afternoon to build, and we sent this out to customers, and they were able to hold it in their hands and place the connector and tell us that what worked and what didn't. And that moved on to a non-functional prototype, but something that's closer, higher resolution each time testing critical assumptions. What we learned on this one was that it was too big. So we worked to get the size smaller, and ended up with the help of a 3D printer, wonderful prototyping technology. We were eventually able to get to version 18. The customer said, yes, we'll buy this. And we launched that product here after a whole lot of, it was only after that point that we actually did about a year's worth of development to actually make the physical product that would work. And released that here about 4 months ago. We had set revenue targets for this, and so now we're able to measure to make sure we're actually meeting the customer needs that we'd set out to. So far, we're on track for that, which we're really excited to see. And that's we're also utilizing it in our, of course, in our software development. This was our first experience with the lean startup techniques. We've hired a consultant, moves the needle, who is helping us to implement this further. So the book is The Lean Startup by Eric Rees. We have some links to the video and to the consulting group that we're working with.
Any questions?
Did you do research before you did any, even before the sketch? Had you actively, for this project, gone to your existing market and said, what do you guys need? How did you know to even go down this road? Yeah, that's a great question. Initially, for this particular project, we were relying on our interaction with our customers. However, what we learned through Moves the Needle is a process they call customer empathy, where we're going out into customers' environments and observing and talking to and listening, just identifying pain points. What's difficult in your day, in your life as a molder? Sometimes it's not even related to, and what we learned is that customers they're having a heck of a hard time hiring talent. And so our user interface for our software is too difficult for them to use. So we need to simplify it. And that was one of our team members who was involved in this project was just stunned when he learned how little of our current product
is actually used today because of all the complexity that's been built into it. It was a huge learning point, and we're fundamentally changing the direction of our product development for our software based on it. Great question. Thank you.
Any other questions?
How did you go about identifying partners that you trusted to work with these products? You said you've gone to a couple of them. I mean, how did you, what's your process of choosing that you feel comfortable sharing this with?
Sure, yeah. And so there's a couple critical decisions up front. First of all, you're going to work with current customers, or you're going to work with non-customers. And initially, we worked more with current customers, our close partner customers, because they're the easiest ones to work with. However, as we're getting into, we want to branch into new market segments, and it becomes more difficult to find some of those folks. So we go into our database and we find a customer who's only bought one product. And there's a lot of experimental techniques. So there's some simple email blast techniques. We're going to email out with a header. Do you have this problem? If so, click on this link, and it goes to a landing page. And we're able to identify how many people go to that link. And if you're interested, give us your name and your contact information. We'll find out, first of all, is there anyone actually has this problem? And we've identified some contacts. Now we can start talking to those customers, getting more information from them, and starting to find out who's passionate enough about this product to work with us as a development partner. And through the experimentation process, we just keep getting deeper and deeper into more and more depth and granularity in your experimentation. Great question.
Are there any other questions? All right. So, as I mentioned, we're all going over to Harbor 22 for those that are interested. Also, if you have an app or a product you're working on, it doesn't even have to be software, it can be hardware. Last month we had a guy with a new hot water heater. So if you have something like that, interested, or if you know somebody, we're building our schedule for next month already. So please put them in touch with me. They can get us through TCNewTech.org or sampleserve.com. Lots of ways to get a hold of me. So, all right, other than that, that's it. If I could get a couple people to help me put these chairs back, that'd be great. So. Thank you.